Hi guys, your next writing assignment asks you to include several quotes from the assigned readings. So I'm going to go over a short mini lesson on quoting. And I've got the handout here up on the screen that's also posted on Canvas. And the first thing to know about quoting is that the language that you include in quotes should be special language. Generally, we're going to prefer paraphrasing in our own words over quoting because it's more efficient and more seamless within our own writing and our own thinking. But when there's special language, we want to quote. So we're going to start with that skill in our first paper. Some guidelines for quoting are here. First, you don't want to just quote and run. You want to set up the quotation with information about the author and the context, and then you want to follow the quotation with some explanation about what it means. Sometimes even repeating the quotation, the meaning of the quotation in our own words. You also want to introduce quotes with signal words. Signal words are verbs that basically state what the author's action is. So is the author advising, criticizing, replying, suggesting, claiming, describing? That's what the signal word is. And you'll notice here, all these verbs that you can use in signal words, signal phrases, are in present tense. So when we write about texts, we always write about them in the present tense as if they're continuing to exist in the reader's mind. Okay? So remember, we don't quote and run, and we introduce quotes with the author's name and a signal phrase in the present tense. So let's look at an example of how that works in the text. Mike Rose, at the beginning of his text, includes a couple of quotations. The first quotation he includes comes from Brother Dill, where he includes the quote of Brother Dill basically calling him a bag of shit. And so we can see why he includes that, because he wants to show just how horrible some of these vocational ed teachers were and how they treated the students. The second specific quote that we have is from Ken Harvey, where Ken Harvey says, "I just want to be average." And of course, we can see Mike Rose includes the specific language here because Ken Harvey's statement gives the title for the entire piece. And also, it is a statement it sounds like Mike Rose thought a lot about through the years. So let's take a look at the quote. The quotes here, I've got it highlighted, but you'll see here all the information that comes before. And then we also have quite a bit of information that comes after. Take a close look at those two sections. The information that comes before is describing who Ken Harvey is, where they are, when he said, "I just want to be average," what was happening when he said, "I just want to be average," right? The teacher called on him for an opinion. They were talking about the parable of the talents, about achievement and working hard. And then Ken Harvey said in a flat tone, "I just want to be average." And then we get a reaction to that and an explanation. And really that explanation continues into the next paragraph here. So you can see how even just a really short quote like this needs so much context before and so much explanation after, like a sandwich around the quote. So you want to think of quotes as always coming in a sandwich with context, explanation before, explanation after. So you've fully introduced and explained it for your reader. All right, so let's look at how to quote a poem. So we read Theme for English B, and I know a lot of you really like this poem, so how would we include it in our own writing? Well, with poems, you do all the same stuff that you would do for a normal text. We're just going to include backslashes to indicate line breaks, because something that's cool about poetry is the format itself on the paper is part of the art. It's part of the text. So I'm going to cut and paste this section over here into a document. And I'm going to add my signal phrase. Langston Hughes, and did I spell that right? I have to go check. Langston Hughes, because I'm not a great speller. Right. There's my signal verb in present tense. My quotation mark. I wonder if it's that simple. And then I'm going to add my backslash, and a space to indicate a line break. End quote. And I'm not going to focus too much here on citations, but if I wanted to add a citation, that would come next. Maybe a page number if I had one, and our end period. So hopefully that helps you guys feel confident with quoting. On this quote, I did not include the several sentences before and the several sentences after to help my reader understand it. But we have a great example of how to do that in Mike Rose's text, I Just Want to Be Average. So go ahead and use that example if you want something to look at as you write.